What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 best basketball shoes for forwards, and this is of course the follow-up video to my last video where I talked about the best shoes for guards, so make sure to check that out if you haven't. Also keep in mind, every shoe can be worn for every position. It comes more down to what play style you have. But that being said, let's get straight into it and start with number 10. It's going to be the Adidas AE1s. These were also in the guards video, a little spoiler, as they work for both positions and they work for both really well. I put the low version for guards. Here I now have the high version. Performance is very similar, but these have more cushion, and this is the main reason why I put them in the forwards video. We have a full-length boost midsole, and it's really comfortable. There's a lot of compression, great impact protection, but you are a little bit higher off the ground than with the low version, as in the lower version we have light boost. The outsole also performs very well. I wouldn't take them outdoors as they are not very durable, but the bite itself is very good. And in my opinion, they also have a good bite on a dustier court. The support features are also very nice, especially here in this high colorway. The laces really keep you locked in. We've got a heel counter. It's not carbon fiber, it just looks like it on some colorways. And we've got the Adidas X plate, which you can see through the outsole. Really good torsional support and stability. And the materials are actually also kind of nice because they do break in nicely and they're not as stiff as they look. The one big downside to them is that they are very heavy, but a plus is the relatively low retail price. Now moving on to number 9 on the list, it's the Puma All Pro Nitro Elite, and it really is a very good performer, but 250 euros or dollars is just way too much, in my personal opinion. We have a solid rubber outsole here, as you can see. It provides a really good bite, very aggressive as well. I didn't have any issues on dustier courts, which is always kind of a problem for Puma. They really have a good bite, and in my opinion, they're even durable enough for outdoors. It's really a harder rubber compound, but the question is, do you want to take a 250 euro or dollar shoe outdoors? That's up to you. What makes these a standout shoe, and the main reason why they're on this list, is the drop-in midsole. We've got a full-length nitro foam drop-in midsole. Let me take that out for you real quick. Here you go. It is really damn comfortable, and you have a carbon fiber plate here also integrated into the drop-in. As I said, extremely comfortable, probably the softest drop-in I've tried apart from the 8085 Ultra, but I got these first. These released way earlier than the 8085 Ultras. So that's really, those two have the best and most comfortable drop-in midsoles if you're looking for impact protection. You can't even compare it with a Kobe midsole. Something I get asked a lot is if you can fit those in Kobe's. I wouldn't do that just because the stack height here is just way higher than on Kobe's and you wouldn't have good lockdown anymore. Speaking of lockdown, it's actually also pretty good here. One thing I had an issue with was this little heel counter right here, and also here on the top. It's very stiff, and on hard lateral movements or cuts, it would sometimes cut into my ankle area, so just maybe try them on in store if you can. The fit is actually nice for wide feet. Surprisingly, for a drop-in shoe, very comfortable. The materials are also kind of meh for such an expensive shoe. It's all synthetic and pretty stiff at first. They do take some time to break in, and unfortunately, these are also kind of heavy. Now at number 8, we've got the KD17 or the KD18. Those two are essentially the same basketball shoe, just the design is a little different, so you can just pick whichever pair you like the looks of better. They have the exact same outsole, and there's not really a difference between translucent and solid rubber. Only thing I would do is if you play outdoors, get the solid rubber, but apart from that, the bite itself is actually really good, very aggressive, also solid on dusty courts, and in my opinion, indoors the translucent insole grips a little bit better. Of course, on the KD18 I've only tried a colorway with a solid rubber outsole, but as it's the exact same outsole as on the 17, they will also perform the same, and they just do that. The cushioning setup is also the same. It's kind of a copy and paste job from Nike here on those two. Good impact protection in the heel. We have an air strobe in the heel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's air strobe, and a zoom unit in the forefoot. Really comfortable, great impact protection, but of course also a little bit higher off the ground. So maybe for every one of you that's like a bigger forward, very physical, that needs that amount of impact protection. The support features are also the same. It's decent, not the best, but also not the worst. I'd say right in the middle. Or like, you're still supportive, you're still locked in, but it's nothing like where you feel like your foot can't move anymore or something like that, or where you're really locked in the shoe. There's some other options for that. And the materials, of course, that's the biggest biggest difference. As you can see here, it's more of a synthetic fuse material, and here we have some mesh accents as well. You can just try them on in store. In my opinion, both are actually comfortable. These are broken in a little bit quicker. These take some time. They're very comfortable on foot, so if you're someone who looks for comfort, these are a great option. Retail price is also decent. Of course, you can get the 17 on sale. And in general, if you're wondering where you can cop all these shoes, there'll be affiliate links and codes to free websites/stores in the description box down below. For one, my partner store Kicks has almost every shoe I'm talking about here in this video. You can use the code Lucas for a discount or just use the affiliate link down below. For the Way of Weight pairs that are in the video, I have an affiliate link for Way of Weight as well for the official website, and you can use the code LucasSimona10. And if you can't find any specific colorway or shoe for retail, you can always hop over to StockX and use my affiliate code, and you can also get them there. They also have a lot of shoes below retail, so always make sure to check them out before you cop. And of course, using those links helps me a lot, so I really appreciate it. Now at number, 7, the two-way volume 5 from New Balance. I really like the shoe, and I only recently started playing with them, but they're extremely comfortable. The cushioning setup really is very nice, especially in the heel. You get a good amount of compression. The forefoot is a little bit lower to the ground, which is exactly how I like it, just how my favorite shoe has it, the Book 1. And as I said, just a very nice feeling overall. You're also not too high off the ground, even though it looks a little bit high off the ground, especially in the heel. There's just such a thick slab of fresh foam is what they call it. The traction performance is actually also very good. I have to say I've only played with these outdoors, but if they perform well on outdoor courts, usually they're also good on at least clean indoor courts. I can't say how they are on dusty courts. Maybe some of you can help people out if they want to cop that pair. The materials are very thin and soft. They break in very nicely. They're adequately padded, but in the forefoot there's really just a very thin layer of material there. And the support features are also very good. Of course, we've got a very prominent heel counter, and as you can see, if you try to flex them, they're also very stiff, which I like a lot, which just means that the shoe has good torsional support. Retail price is also at a very decent range, and of course you can also find these on sale as they've been out for a while already, especially all the colorways like this one. This was one of the first to release. Now at number 6, we move to yet another brand. This is from 361, and this is the Joker 1 GT. Of course, you can also use the regular Joker or the SE version, but in my opinion, this particular model is the best for forwards. They're a little bit more expensive, but what makes them so good is they have exceptional traction performance. Here you can see it's a translucent outsole, and it really grips the floor like crazy. It's a very aggressive bite. They also have a really loud squeak, and they do work indoors perfectly. I'm not sure about outdoors, as especially on the translucent outsoles, the rubber compound is very thin, and you can see some parts already like being, I don't know, like moved off here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on the camera that well. Here you can see some parts sticking off, or just like from too much friction with the cord getting moved off there. What I like most about them is the insanely nice and bouncy cushioning setup, and that's also a reason why I think these are awesome for forwards. Great impact protection throughout, and you're still not very high off the ground, and they are also very supportive. For the materials, we have synthetic leather materials all on the shoe. They are nice and they also break in quickly, but just give them a little bit of time. As you can see here, I haven't played as much in this colorway as they're not my true size. They're a bit too small, so they're still relatively stiff, but if you play with them more, they will get broken in. The heel area is also nicely padded, so also a nice and comfortable shoe. Now for number 5, we have the Adidas Harden Volume 9. I just like these a little bit more than the Joker 1 GT. These, I mentioned before that the KDs are not the most supportive shoes. These, on the other hand, are extremely supportive. So if you're looking for a really supportive shoe with great lockdown and also all-around features that are good, the Harden 9 is probably the best option. Retail price is $160, which is also decent in my opinion, and there's probably some colorways on sale, or you can also go for the Harden 8. They also have great performance, and they're very similar to these. For traction, as you can see here, we've got a dual layer, or actually 3 kind of different patterns. A circular one here, then here in the middle, it's kind of like a herringbone, and outside it's bigger circles again, but not in combination like right here. And of course we have the Adidas logo here in the heel. What I noticed on the 8s already, and it's still consistent here on the 9s, is that this part picks up a lot of dust. So if you're a heel dominant player, maybe not the best shoe, but if you're more on your forefoot, they're actually pretty good. They also don't pick up as much dust as the 8s do, and the bite itself is very good. It's very aggressive, and as I said, doesn't pick up as much dust anymore, so you're not going to be sliding around on dusty courts like it was the case with the 7 and sometimes with the 8. The cushioning setup is also very nice. We've got boost and light strike, pretty much the same as we've had on the last 2 hardened models. Good impact protection in the heel, relatively low to the ground in the forefoot. Mentioned the support features already. One thing you have to keep an eye out is the creases. I know it sounds weird on basketball shoes. I don't care about it at all. I know a lot of you will, especially in this area here. The materials just crease like crazy, especially on this colorway. On some others it's a little bit better, but here if I move them, they really crease up like crazy. So if you don't like that, maybe stay away from these. Just to get a roundup on the support features, we've got a heel corner. We've also gotten a midfoot plate in the like right around from here to here, and the lacing system also works very well. And because the materials are kind of stiff, they also really keep your foot in place. The fit for wide feet is not the best, but you really have to break them in, give them some time. At first I didn't like it, but then I just kept playing with them because I love the design of the shoe, and it got better and they actually fit me quite well now. For number 4, this might come as a surprise, a shoe from Puma again. I actually like these more than the Ultra Nitro Elite for a few simple reasons. They're lighter, they don't feel as clunky on foot. The big thing about these is you have to get a pair with a translucent outsole, especially if you're playing indoors. Outdoors, it doesn't matter, but indoors, if your pair has a solid rubber outsole, you're going to be sliding around. If you've got a translucent outsole, you'll have very, very good grip and a very aggressive bite on a cleaner court, and also solid grip on a dusty court. What I like most about them is the cushioning setup. It's extremely comfortable throughout the whole shoe. In general, this shoe is one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever played in. The materials are crazy soft. They conform to your feet so well. I haven't played as much in this colorway yet, but if you play with them 3, 4, 5 times, the materials will get so nice and soft, and the cushioning just adds such a cloudy feeling. It's really like a cloud is hugging around your whole foot while playing. They're not the most breathable. It kind of gets a little bit hot in there, so maybe not the best for summer, but for indoor basketball, really an amazing option. And the support features are also good. So I can highly recommend the All Pro Nitro. Just get a pair with a solid rubber outsole. This colorway, if you're wondering, is from my partner store Kicks. They got their own colorway, which is pretty cool. So you can definitely go for those. They made sure to get the translucent outsole on there. Now for the top 3, I have the Way of Weight 11 at number 3. Also a really comfortable shoe with a lot of cushioning, especially in the heel. The forefoot is a little bit lower to the ground. What makes them special for the cushioning setup is we have a carbon core system, which means we have a slab of boom cushioning, a carbon fiber plate, and then another slab of boom cushioning. They're not as bouncy as the Way of Weight 10 wear, but they are more comfortable and have better impact protection. For the traction pattern, we have an incredibly unique pattern, as you can see here on the outsole, and it also works very well. At first I was very skeptical if you're going to work outdoors. They actually do, and they have an amazing bite indoors. If it's dusty, they pick up a lot of dust, so you have to wipe, and they also have an extremely loud squeak, which of course has nothing to do with traction performance, but if you're someone who likes that, these will be an awesome option. They're also one of the most supportive shoes on the market. We've got a huge heel corner. I mentioned the carbon fiber midfoot shank plate already, and the lacing system really keeps you locked in. Plus you have a really wide base, as you can see an outrigger here, and I'm saying a wide base, you might think these are great for wide footers. If your foot is wide in the toe area, yes, they are awesome. Here you've got a lot of space. If your foot is wide in the midfoot, these will take a lot of time to break in, and it's going to be painful as the material is moving in over the top of your foot, unfortunately. Just keep an eye out for that. And there's also for the materials different colorways with different materials, like we've seen for a lot of Way of Weight shoes. These are more breathable, so I would definitely recommend one like these for summer basketball. And now for the top 2, we have another new brand, serious player only, the Easy One. I absolutely love this basketball shoe. It's using synthetic leather materials on this colorway, and what makes these special is that you've got an off-court insole that you can put in there. Then we have an on-court insole, and then we also have another drop-in like midsole kinda, and we still have some cushioning here in the regular midsole. It's really an amazing setup and very unique. I really enjoyed. The on-court midsole has more support, as you can see here, especially in the midfoot, and the off-court one is just a regular Orphalite insole. Cushioning setup, very, very comfortable, also very bouncy, and the traction performance is also really, really nice. It's a polyurethane setup, similar to GCU setup on the Way of Weight 11, and it bites very well. This is also durable enough for outdoors, even though it doesn't look very durable, it works. And overall, just a really, really nice shoe. Also a little bit more expensive, but that's okay in my opinion. The performance is definitely worth it. I mentioned the materials already, and you also have great support features. In the insole, you can see that there's a carbon fiber midfoot shank plate. Of course, we've got a heel corner, and the lacing system also works well. Just here by doing this test, as you can see, they flex in the forefoot, and of course you get some more support by putting the on-court midsole in there. And now for the number 1 on this list, it's the Way of Weight 10. I was debating about putting them in the video as they released a while ago, but as Way of Weight still keeps releasing new colorways. I thought, why not? They're just the best basketball shoe I've tried, alongside the Kobe 6, the Book 1, and the Harden 7. Those were just perfect for my feet as well, but simply for on-court performance, these are the best option. They're also a little bit more expensive, but they don't really have a flaw. They can be used indoors and outdoors. The traction performance is very, very good. Here it's a more traditional herringbone type setup. Clean courts, outdoor, dusty courts, they work. Cushioning setup, full length boom, very comfortable, good impact protection. Still not too high off the ground, which is always important. And what makes these so special is, you could see it already before, the full length carbon fiber midfoot shank plate. They are insanely bouncy, very hard to flex. As you can see, I'm really using a lot of force and I can really flex them that well. And as I said, if you're dunking, if you're jumping a lot, these will help. They can definitely give you a couple of extra inches to your jump. And the support, of course, is also very good. The torsional support especially. Lacing system works well. Materials also a highlight. Very thin, breathable, soft, confirmed to your feet. Decent fit for wide feet. Maybe go up half a size. Maybe you can try them on somewhere in a store around you. And in my opinion, this is one of the best basketball shoes of all time. So they are deservingly the #1 on that list. With that being said, that's all I have for you today. There will be another video for centers. So don't worry, if you're a bigger guy, there's going to be more options that will be uploaded in 1 week from the time that this was uploaded. Have a good one. See you next time. Leave a like, subscribe. That's it for today.